After the stunning news yesterday that former WWE United States Champion and veteran WWE superstar R-Truth was leaving the company after WWE had opted not to renew his contract, another veteran superstar in Carlito has also announced that his contract will not be renewed and he will be exiting WWE. We'll let you know all the reaction to this. Plus, speaking of R-Truth leaving WWE, we got more details on R-Truth's WWE departure, as well as the reactions internally and externally to this shocking exit from the company. Rey Mysterio shares that he suffered a busted eardrum in addition to the torn groin, which removed him from WWE WrestleMania 41. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling. Before we begin, you can see right there, we're currently at 22,100 subscribers. So if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and join the ever-expanding WNU, that being the Wrestling News universe. In addition, you can become a member of the WN365 roster. Links in the video description below. You can click the join button or scan the QR code when it appears on the sidebar. Speaking of that sidebar, we've got a big weekend when it comes to live streaming here at Wrestle News 365. First, we're going to have WWE and AAA Worlds Collide. We'll be live for a watch-along for that. Plus, later on that day, we'll have WWE Money in the Bank, a live watch-along, and a live post-show on the channel. A big weekend that begins a big summer of content here at Wrestle News 365. So if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe. Click that notification bell. You'll be notified when indeed we go live. Now, let's begin with the big news yesterday regarding the departure of R-Truth from WWE. It was quickly followed by another veteran superstar. Following the surprising news that WWE would not be renewing R-Truth's contract when it expires in the coming weeks, another man with links to the Judgment Day, former WWE Intercontinental Champion Carlito, will also be leaving the company as his contract is also not being renewed. Now, PW Insider originally broke the news, stating that Carlito will be exiting the company, with the man himself later taking to social media to not only confirm the news, but also being able to find the funny side of it all. He said, quote, "My contract is up in 2 weeks. It will not be renewed. On top of that, WWE is demanding I pay back the money they paid me for apparently, quote, stealing money from the company. I've had my lawyers look into it, and after reviewing my footage on Netflix for the past months, they suggested I pay them back the money." All jokes aside, gracias WWE and especially the WWE Universe. And also he said, P.S. I'll reappear again in another 13 years. Again, making light out of the situation and seemingly holding no ill will towards WWE. Now, debuting in 1999 as the son of wrestling legend Carlos Colon, Carlito would make his name in World Wrestling Council in Puerto Rico before being assigned to WWE's developmental system in 2003. After a year in Ohio Valley Wrestling, Carlito made the move to WWE's main roster, where he immediately feuded with John Cena, winning the WWE United States Championship in the process. Carlito would go on to win 2 sets of WWE Tag Team Championships with his brother Primo Colon, as well as the WWE Intercontinental Championship in the following 6 years before being released in 2010. Carlito would then spend over a decade back in Puerto Rico and on the Indies before making a cameo appearance in the 2021 Royal Rumble match, but it was his surprise appearance at the 2023 Backlash Premium Live event in his hometown of San Juan, Puerto Rico, where he got such a loud reception from the fans that led to Carlito being signed to a full-time deal with WWE for the second time. He would immediately be aligned with the Latino World Order faction upon his return to television, but after being drafted to Raw in the 2024 WWE Draft, he began working with the Judgment Day, the group he would stay with until his WWE departure, which will be in 2 weeks' time. Now, there's been a lot of reaction to Carlito's departure on social media, with a lot of posts and tweets from his compadres in WWE as well as the Judgment Day. JD McDonough kicked it off by saying, quote, "Absolutely gutted. It's so hard getting close to people in the business. You never know when it's going to be the last car ride, the last hug. We love you, Don Carly. See you around, dog." Now, this was followed up by Killer Cross, Karrion Kross, who posted, quote, "Hey, everybody, I have a ton of great memories/stories to share about Carlito and Truth, but I think it's more important to say this. Don't treat them like they're completely gone. If you haven't yet, follow them on all social platforms and keep up with them. Ron Killings is writing and producing music. Carlito just returned to Puerto Rico in a big way. Both will continuing performing, and I bet both will be back on TV in no time. Continue to support them and stay loud for them." Oro Mensah posted, quote, "Wrestling him, now that's cool," referring to Carlito. Lucha Lit Lince Dorado posted, quote, "One love," in response to Carlito's statement on social media. Matt Cardona also posted simply, "The man." Now, when it comes to Carlito and actually what he's been doing recently, he was actually in action over the weekend. On Saturday, Carlito won the Puerto Rican Championship in WWC. Of course, if we get any more updates on what he's planned to do in the future, we'll let you know in an upcoming video. Now, again, this all kicked off yesterday with the shocking announcement that R-Truth was leaving WWE after being with the company for 17 years in his second run with the organization. Now, of course, the news came out yesterday. R-Truth is leaving WWE in a shocking move. Despite the fact that R-Truth is 53, he was looked at as a WWE lifer by many, but obviously that doesn't appear to be the case. Fightful Select's Sean Rossap has confirmed that Truth was contacted by Talent Relations employee over the weekend and informed that his contract would not be extended as it is expiring. Based on those that Fightful say they spoke to, he was told that he hadn't been in trouble and did nothing wrong. A number of talent spoke with him following the news to check on him, and that everyone seemed confused by the news, including Truth himself. Now, Fightful say the reaction from the roster was unlike anything they've ever covered, despite covering hundreds of releases and departures. The departure was met with complete shock and disbelief, with one top talent calling it, quote, "total nonsense." Another called this regime ruthless. It's by far the most criticized and universally disliked departure that Fightful have covered. Throughout Fightful's 9 years of existence, they've never had a backstage source speak ill or anything less than glowingly of R-Truth. In addition to that, R-Truth also had one of the top-selling WWE shirts in recent weeks with his Ron Cena shirt. While R-Truth name has been used within WWE, he's used Ron the Truth Killings outside of WWE when working in NWA and TNA in previous years. An interesting element is that there's a very good chance that Ron Killings owns the rights to his theme song, which was self-produced and actually used for a couple of years in TNA wrestling. Now, of course, there was immediate interest from top indies regarding booking him and when his contract was actually up. Fightful say they're working to find out exactly when his contract does indeed expire. Now, as you can imagine, the outpouring of support all over social media was incredibly extensive. We'll show you some of the posts here. Kevin Owens posted, quotes, "I've said many times that there are a few people in this industry for whom I have unlimited respect, love and admiration for. Ron Killings is at the very top of that list. An incredible, timeless performer with an unmatched ability to entertain and bring a smile to anyone he encounters, be it the fans or every single person lucky enough to have had the privilege to work alongside him. His kindness, humility, and infectious good nature makes him one of the most beloved people I've met in this industry, and the void that his absence will leave in our locker room is immeasurable. I love you, dude." Shotzi, a former WWE superstar, of course, recently departed the company, said, quote, "I love R-Truth so much. Nobody's presence on TV made me smile or laugh more than his." Carmela Hayes posted, "Thank you for everything you've done for the business, the doors you opened, and being a real OG to the whole locker room. Taught me a lot about the game and how to navigate this business. Ron Killings is timeless." Rhea Ripley responded to R-Truth's statement on social media, saying, quote, "In all seriousness, this is literally so heartbreaking. Thank you, Truth." Trinity Fatu, of course known as Naomi in WWE, posted, quote, "No, we never got to do our TikToks." The former Dijak tweeted, quote, "You're the best. Hope we can run it back, bro." Ricochet, now currently in AEW, said, "You're an amazing talent and an even better person. Go enjoy your life, Unk." Tom Pestock, of course, best known as Baron Corbin, posted, quote, "Mind-blowing, a true company guy and amazing person. Thank you for everything in and out of the ring, my friend." Kathy Kelly, a WWE announcer, said, quote, "One of my favorite and most supportive people I've ever gotten to work with. Gonna miss you so much, Truthy." Matthew Rewalt, of course a TNA wrestling announcer, said, quote, "The number of times I've been on a card with Ron, and he was one of the most overperformers on the card, even if it was during a time when he wasn't being featured on TV, I can't even count. One of the funniest and best out there." Cedric Alexander simply stated, "All-time great." Big E said, quote, "No one made me laugh backstage more than Ron. I've known this man for 13 years. He treated me like a brother from the very first day. Never saw him in a bad mood. A man who spread kindness and joy every chance he could." Pat McAfee said, quotes, "I love Ron Killings. It's guaranteed joy when he's part of a segment. He's also my dad's favorite WWE superstar of all time. The McAfees are bummed out, but we all know R-Truth will continue to bless the world with his big ass brain. Thank you, Truth." John Cena simply posted a picture to his Instagram profile of R-Truth making his entrance in their match against each other at Saturday Night's Main Event just a couple of weeks ago. Tommy Dreamer, of course, the head of talent relations in TNA Wrestling, has posted up a very interesting statement, possibly hinting at R-Truth returning to TNA Wrestling. As you can see right there, the TNA head of talent relations, Tommy Dreamer, reacted to Truth's departure, telling Truth, "Hit me up," with a photo of Truth during his time in TNA. Now, during R-Truth's WWE, in between R-Truth's WWE stints, he called TNA Wrestling his home from 2001 to 2007. Using his real name, Ron Killings, he captured the NWA World's Heavyweight Championship, which was the main title in TNA at the time. And many have already speculated he could end up going back to TNA Wrestling. We'll have to wait and see, but it certainly looks like Tommy Dreamer would be open to that happening. Now, as far as more reasons as to why Truth and Carlito have been told that their contracts haven't been expired, as well as some other releases, Fightful say they've gained some more details on their future, and certainly the thought process behind these, having the contracts not extended, and also the recent releases we saw too. Now, there were some within NXT who knew that Chikara Jackson was set to be released, according to Fightful Select, as they constructed the creative to split she and Lash Legend. It still surprised many, as there were conversations months back about Lash Legend and Chikara making their way to the main roster, even pitches for them to win the tag titles. Those that Fightful spoke to in MLW said there will likely be interest from their side, with a few of the women that got released. Another name released, Gigi Dolan, previously appeared in AEW in a couple of spots, wrestled in TNA this year, and worked a couple of tours for Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling in 2018. She also worked a couple of MLW dates in the past and has familiarity there. Dakota Kai, of course, another name that was released, landed representation in the last couple of weeks. Cora Jade / Lena Black did so as well. The NXT talent had a 30-day wait period, which is now up to the main roster have 90. R-Truth and Carlito, their deals are up over the next month or so. They won't have to serve that 90-day or 30-day non-compete. Once their contracts officially expire, they'll be officially able to sign and appear anywhere they want. Now, as far as the decision as to why WWE decided not to renew R-Truth and Carlito's contracts, well, R-Truth and Carlito, as I mentioned, are both set to depart WWE, having been informed by the company that their contracts would not be renewed. Ron Killings announced he was being released by WWE, while Carlito noted his contract was due to expire in the next couple of weeks, and he'll be leaving the organization when his deal comes to an end. WWE deciding not to renew Carlito and R-Truth's deals was reportedly due to impending main roster call-ups from WWE NXT, according to Dave Meltzer in the F4W Online Daily Update. It was noted that, quote, "When there are additions coming from NXT, there will be subtractions," end quote. And those most at risk of being let go include talents not being used or older wrestlers utilized on the undercard. NXT call-ups led to main roster releases in early May when Dakota Kai, Braun Strowman, Shayna Baszler, Kaden Carter, and Katana Chance were all let go. The likes of Julia, Stephanie Vaquer, and Roxanne Perez have since been moved to Monday Night Raw or Friday Night SmackDown in recent weeks. A main roster call-up that is reportedly imminent will see Ricky Saints join either Raw or SmackDown. The former Ricky Starks has been booked on WWE NXT since making his WWE debut, but he dropped the NXT North American Championship to Ethan Page on May 27th, which suggests his time on Tuesday nights is coming to an end. And finally, Rey Mysterio. Of course, he's been out of action since just before WrestleMania, but actually, he suffered another injury whilst he suffered the injury that ruled him out of a match on the grandest stage of them all. Now, going into WrestleMania 41, it was advertised that Rey Mysterio would be taking on El Grande Americano, the alias of Chad Gable. Due to a torn groin injury that Mysterio suffered on SmackDown before WrestleMania, Rey Fenix replaced him in the bout against El Grande. Mysterio recently was interviewed by Jim Valesone to promote his receiving of the Legend Impact Award at the National Hispanic Media Coalition's Impact Awards Gala. Along the way, he shared that in addition to the torn groin injury, he suffered a busted eardrum. Quote, "No, not easy to stay on top in the wrestling industry. Obviously, with the amount of injuries that I've had over the years, I'm actually recovering from one that I had right before WrestleMania, a torn groin and a busted eardrum. I still love doing what I do. I definitely believe that I picked up my second wind when my son started to wrestle and he broke in for the first time. although he's been around since he was 7 years old when we had the storyline with Eddie Guerrero and the custody of Dominic. But overall, the passion that I have for the sport, I want to consider myself a peacemaker. I don't have any problems, at least I don't think I do, with any of my colleagues, with my fans around the world. I like to connect, and some way that keeps me pushing forward and loving what I've been doing for the past 3-4 years, or should I say from the age of 4 when I started training. So the connection is definitely still there. I enjoy doing it. I enjoy watching my son. It's a diversity of fans, and to be able to travel around the world and connect with all these fans at times has just been amazing. The love and support that they show is like no other. Now, coming up for WWE this Saturday is their joint show with AAA Worlds Collide. Mysterio is featured on the promotional material. He stated that he will be a part of Worlds Collide, but didn't specify in what way. Well, we can find out together when we do the watch along for that live here on the channel this coming Saturday. But there you go, guys. The latest pro wrestling news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. As we spoke about earlier on, you can see right there, we're at 22,100 subscribers. So if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe. Join the ever-expanding WNU. We'll have, obviously, more news videos coming up. Countdown videos coming back this week, in addition to live streams. We've got watch-alongs and post-shows set for this weekend. You can also scan the QR code on the screen right there and join the WN365 roster. You get your badges, your emojis, and your exclusive members-only content. In addition, get involved in the comments. Let me know your thoughts on all the news stories today, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.